Elon Musk wrote a great email here in April 2018. He told his employees to walk out of meetings which were wasting their time, disregard protocols that seemed like they were dumb, and to just get the job done in the most logical and rational way possible, particularly if this means going around your manager. I've been trying to understand with some concreteness for the last few years Elon Musk's approach to management. Unfortunately, I don't have the benefit of having read Ashley Vance's bio of Elon, as it's still not available on Audible. This week's email reminded me of some past emails he had written, and so I went through and tried to collate the emails into one file and go and see if there's any major themes that emerge from them. I collected 8 emails. Most of them are from Tesla, and they do show some important longitudinal themes that keep coming out, and I'd like to summarize a few of these here for you. I've separated the themes into themes which are more specific to the way I think that Elon Musk thinks and communicates, and just general common sense management themes. The first one, which is a Elon Muskism, is he likes to remind people to not be, quote, dumb. 3 examples. First, in an April 2018 email, he says, "A major source of issues is poor communication between departments. The way to solve this is to allow the free flow of information between all levels. If, in order to get something done between departments, an individual contributor has to talk to their manager, who talks to a director, who talks to a VP, who talks to another VP, who talks to a director, who talks to a manager, who talks to someone doing the actual work, then super dumb things will happen. It must be okay for people to talk directly and just make the right thing happen." This is clearly a pet peeve of Elon's, because in August 30th, 2017, or at least the email published before then, he uses the exact same example. He says, instead of a problem getting solved quickly, where a person in the one department talks to a person in another department and makes the right thing happen, people are forced to talk to their manager, who talks to their manager, who talks to the manager in the other department, who talks to someone on his team. Then the information has to flow back the other way again. This is incredibly dumb. Any manager who allows this to happen, let alone encourages it, will soon find themselves working at another company. No kidding." End quote. The third instance of dumb things happening is the acronyms seriously suck email, where he says, no one can actually remember all these acronyms, and people don't want to seem dumb in a meeting, so they just sit there in ignorance. And later in the email, he uses the example that, quote, "There should be no HTS, horizontal test stand, or VTS, vertical test stand, designations for test stands. Those are particularly dumb as they contain unnecessarily words. A stand at our test site is obviously a test stand. A VTS3 is 4 syllables compared with tripod, which is 2. So the bloody acronym version actually takes longer than to say the name." And so the first major Elon Musk management principle is don't be dumb if you work in the company. The second one, focus on communication within the company. And he wants you to use no acronyms, as we discussed, and employees should speak to, in fact, are obligated to speak to the person they need to in order to get the job done most effectively and directly, whether this is someone in another department, another manager, or even Elon himself. And as Elon Musk says, communication should travel via the shortest path necessary to get the job done, not through the chain of command. Any manager who attempts to enforce the chain of command communication will soon find themselves working elsewhere. And this leads to the third theme, which is, I think Elon believes that employees should manage themselves. He clearly trusts the employees who have been hired to get their job done and to know how to do their job well. These emails, in all of them, go out of their way to explain that employees should make the right decision, that they should bypass protocols which they think are getting in the way. He says, in general, always pick common sense as your guide. If following a, quote, company rule is obviously ridiculous in a particular situation, such that it would make for a great Dilbert cartoon, then the rule should change. And as a corollary to this, in the emails directed to, for instance, factory workers, Elon will often reference the fact that managers and their primary role is to serve the employees. And in order to make this very clear, managers don't have special offices, they won't have special parking, and they won't have special cafeterias. Elon demonstrates by example, for instance, sleeping on the roof or wanting to visit the factory floor in person, that this is the management approach he wants to have throughout the company. Managers need to understand the problems firsthand and spend their time breaking down barriers between different divisions within the company in order for communication to flow more readily. And the fourth major theme which comes out of these emails is that Elon puts in place systems when he wants to signal to the company that he cares about something. And these systems feed back directly to him for his personal review and attention. For instance, the April 2018 email discusses how he will personally review expenses greater than $1 million. In June 2017, he discusses that he wants every injury in the factory to be directed to his attention to review. And in 2017 in September, he writes that he will be personally reviewing every car sold at a discounted rate and why. Because he believes very strongly that nobody, regardless if they're a celebrity or even his own family, should be able to buy a Tesla at a discounted rate because it's not fair to the other consumers. And I guess the last theme in all of the emails which were clearly written by Elon is that they're funny. They clearly contain turns of speech which are things which Elon Musk would say on stage when giving a talk. He, in one email, writes, "Our cars need to be designed and built with such accuracy and precision that if an owner measures dimensions, panel gaps, and flushes, and the measurements don't match the Model 3 specs, it just means that their tape measure is wrong. I have been disappointed often to discover how many contractor companies are interwoven throughout Tesla. Often it is like a Russian nesting doll of contractor, subcontractor, subcontractor before finally finding someone doing actual work. This means a lot of middle managers adding costs but not doing anything obviously useful. There is a wide range of contractor performance, from excellent to worse than a drunken sloth. All contracting companies should consider the coming week to be a final opportunity to demonstrate excellence. Any that fail to meet Tesla's standard of excellence will have their contracts ended on Monday. By the way, here are a few productivity recommendations. 1. Excessive meetings are a blight of big companies and almost always get worse over time. Please get rid of all meetings unless they're certain they are providing value to the whole audience, in which case keep them very short. 2. Also, get rid of frequent meetings unless you are dealing with an extremely urgent matter. Meeting frequency should drop rapidly once the urgent matter is resolved. 3. Walk out of any meeting or drop off a call as soon as it is obvious you aren't adding value. It is not rude to leave. It is rude to make someone stay and waste their time. Some other management themes which emerge in these emails are a lot more common sense. The first is that the emails often open with Elon's painting of a larger purpose and the greater mission of the company, which is always a good way to start a presentation or an email. Often the email will then bridge to the specific next step that that team has in order to get to this long-term vision. Often the emails say something nice. There's a word of congratulations or encouragement to the team for meeting a benchmark. Third, the emails emphasize core values. It makes it easy for employees to know what the company values, whether it's honor, ridiculously high quality, integrity, or speed of execution. It is easy to understand what are the measurement sticks which the highest management at Tesla are holding up in adjudicating problems. Fourth, when issues of finance, salary, worked hours, or compensation come up, the emails are direct and to the point, and Elon uses facts to back up what his position on the matter is. Check out the emails yourself. They're all collected on the website. As new emails come out, I'll try to add them to this list. And overall, what I get from reading these emails is if I was an employee working at one of these companies, after reading such an email, I would feel a renewed sense of commitment to the greater company vision, a commitment to common sense, and a focus on getting the job done and doing it really well. And this is the best part of any job. And these emails show that Elon wants employees to not be stifled by those parts of the workplace which are least desirable, whether it's pointless meetings or obstructive managers.